Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone Grandmasters for the Americas region, as we have finished up our 3 matches for the first half of the day, and now we enter the final stretch of the last 2 series, Nalguidan versus bloodyface, as we get ready for our 4th match here. We did misspeak earlier. We were so focused on the division standings that I misspoke and said that 7th place versus 8th place ends up playing each other, so it doesn't actually really matter for Nalguidan and Monsanto what they finish, because they will play each other guaranteed.
Hey, it's the psychological advantage that Monsanto has now.
Yes, yes.
Going into it, he's like, "Hey, I just beat someone a little bit higher in the standings than me, so come at me."
Right. Just want to clarify. I think we were just a little tunneled in on the other division. Division B, 5th versus 6th is a big deal.
There are a lot of things going on with stance and standard, standings and things moving around. And at least I have the excuse where I'm just filling in this week. So I'm just going to keep relying on that.
Yeah, my excuse is that I've been doing this for like 5 to 6 years. And, I'm still learning. So.
That's a great excuse. Never stop learning. That is a great lesson.
So with that, coming up next, we have that Bloodyface versus Nalguidan match. It could improve seeding a lot for Bloodyface if he's able to tie the best record. Language Hacker ends 4-3. Eddie got the win versus Gal, so he's tied. So if Bloodyface wins this, it would set up a 3-way tie for first place in the division.
Wow. Well, let's see what happens as we get into game number 1 already. It's going to be that Quest Warlock taking on that Quest Warlock. The Mirror.
Oh boy! So you saw it once before, and you're gonna see it again here, and we've talked a little bit about it. It's gonna be a lot of drawing cards, and I mean, Bloodyface's hand already looking pretty nice against Nalguidan's.
So, comparing the decks between these two right now, only one Questing Explorer for Nalguidan in his version of this. I'm trying to spot the other differences as well. If you see it before I do, shout it out. But it looks like, it looks like Bloodyface is actually opting not to run the Acidic Swampus.
Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed. Instead, he's just making his deck more consistent with the second Questing Explorer.
Yeah.
All right. We've seen some deck lists also choose to run only one Soulfire instead.
Yeah, that's true.
That is.
Since a lot of times, like if you're doing that combo at the end, you're not going to be able to play both Soulfires anyway, unless one of the 3 cards is discounted by the hero power.
Right. Yep. Makes sense to me.
The right way.
I actually don't mind going down to one questing adventure that much in this deck, because there are a lot of games where you complete your quest and then you draw your second questing adventure,
Right, exactly. I think that's a problem that a lot of people have encountered, and it just becomes a dead draw. The only thing is that even if the second one is generally useless, having that double chance to have Questing Adventure, or Questing Explorer, excuse me, on 2 is a huge deal. So
might be worth it, yeah.
I think it's worth it.
So you would go with the double Questing Explorer over the Acidic Swampers? Or would you find a different way to work it in?
I think I like the one Soulfire approach a little bit better. I know that it reduces your range pretty significantly, but I think in general, I'm a big fan of Questing Explorer. I think it's like one of the key cards that really gives support to the archetype that people underestimate.
I suppose you could argue that Nalguidan really wishes he would have been able to play a Questing Explorer right there instead of his Swampus. Didn't get the draw.
Yeah, like if you anticipate the mirror happening a lot, that's another reason to go for that.
On the ladder,
yeah. On ladder it might be different though, because there's so many demon hunters and hunters out there. They're just the 2 most popular classes right now, I think.
Yeah, Ooze is probably better on ladder than in the tournament here. So a 2 damage Mortal Coil from the Moarga Artificer draws into another Mortal Coil.
Yeah, this Netherwing is going to answer some of the board, not all of it.
Yep. And it seems like in the mirror, what little we've seen of it, the Crazed Netherwing turns can be some of the bigger swing turns in the early game, because you do have to dedicate a little bit more to take out the 5/5. Obviously, Bloodyface has no trouble taking this out. He does have Dark Skies, which makes it pretty easy.
Now, I'm wondering if we should follow the curve here and just coin out a 6-drop and then play another 6-drop on the following turn.
Yeah, I can see that.
It makes me feel like the... Because what you get by playing coin into minion is also freeing up hand space to tap more aggressively. The big problem with like some of the plays is that if he does end up dark skying and tapping, he's going to run into hand space issues later on.
True.
But also, he's going to fall behind on tempo. Let's say he dark skies and taps, and his opponent plays Abyssal Summoner. How does he answer that?
No, I really like it. I think you're right. I mean, because if you play the Abyssal Summoner now, you also present a lot of health on the board that your opponent is probably going to need to dedicate multiple cards to.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's the same line bloodyface is thinking about as well. In the mirror specifically, this seems like a really strong play. Go face. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, get the damage in while you can.
Yep, might as well.
It was just in case, you know, there's like a Nalguidan, and Nalguidan like pushed past the 7/7, and then bloodyface didn't have a good trade, but chances are he was able to be able to answer it.
So Nether Breath, Dark Skies. He's got a few ways to deal with this. Seems like the most likely one. Yeah, Mortal Coil. Morag Artificer's still out there too. I forgot about that. So that was actually a 8 damage Nether Breath.
Yeah, just healing him back up for full. Yet another reason why this matchup a lot of times can be like a surprise burst lethal, but there's just so much heal that it makes the math super wonky.
You know, and that actually takes us back to another turn and gives a really good reason for bloodyface to run that Morag Artificer into the 5/5 instead of send it to face. Because by allowing it to live, he allowed Nalguidan to have that pretty clean kill with the and all that healing with the Nether Breath.
That's a good point. Something worth considering for future turns.
Yeah, for sure. The Quest Warlock Mirror is still a very much a developing matchup, I would say, right now.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, you know, I was kind of browsing Twitter a little bit during the break here and reading some of the mentions, and people were talking about how Grandmasters seem to be misplaying a little bit more this week compared to others, which is understandable given that there's high stakes, right?
Sure.
You're going to expect people to play perfectly all the time. I mean...
Well, there's a variety of factors, and you know, sometimes we like to hold the pros to this unachievable standard where it's like, oh my gosh, you misplayed? I thought you were a professional player. It's like, guys, name me a sport where the pros don't make mistakes, all right? So you add in the pressure of this weekend, you add in the fact that you have things like Quest Warlock that's, you know, relatively new on the tournament scene, and there's a lot of factors that can cause things to be a bit off.
Sure, there's chess grandmasters who make mistakes.
Oh yeah,
and it's like they have full open information. So I mean,
if you never made a mistake, you would win every tournament ever, which no one in the history of mankind has ever done in any sports. So you'll see some mistakes from time to time.
Anyways, I was browsing and people were talking about it, and one of the things that people were like pointing out, as you know, a lot of people chimed in, both grandmasters and non-grandmasters, and even developers, Blizzard, Hearthstone developers were trying to get about it, was that grandmasters are also learning about things too, because they come to this weekend or other weekends with an idea, and then they discover their decision was wrong or even more correct, right? Like, why would Saiyan and Muzzy kind of make fun of their own decks and their own lineups if they really believed in it?
Yep. I think that's the kind
definitely something to think about.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's the kind of thing too, where if you have been part of, you know, various competitive card game scenes over the years, that's pretty common. You know, you do a lot of prep to get ready for a weekend, whether it's a tournament, whether it's something like this, and sometimes you can just sort of misread, you know, misread the scene, misread what you're gonna be playing into, and yeah,
it does
can
happen. What doesn't happen is bloodyface's quest completion. Nalguidan is
not yet
very far ahead. He can play the Abyssal Summoner, then Hero Power, and have a free card. I think it would make him put him in a weird spot where he would have a full hand, and he needs to sidestep that somehow.
Well, this is one of those turns where, yeah, I was just about to say, sometimes you see players use Dark Skies on nothing just to free up the hand space.
Holy moly,
Whoa.
That's a really good draw.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, so you don't... Do you play it now? It is an 8/8 on the board, and if your opponent does play a Twisting Nether, you still get the proactive ability of it. But holding on to it also presents a 2-turn lethal opportunity for yourself that's sneaky, right? Nalguidan can just Alex Strauss and Soulfire next turn.
Yeah, it's not bad. Nalguidan. Heading out for a moment, I guess.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see this turn. Oh, he's back. Okay, all right. Dark Skies.
Maybe a pet is misbehaving or something.
Could be, yep.
Hard to tell sometimes.
I'll have to ask him later. The board gets cleared.
Yeah,
Back to
this
Nalguidan.
is still not good here. Nalguidan has... Alex Strauss puts another 15. Crazy Netherwing and Soulfire does another 7. So not quite, but it's important as he keeps tapping.
Yep.
Keeps hero powering.
It's close. Let's see what he finds this time. Like another Soulfire. No? Morg Artificer doesn't really do it.
Yeah. Well, him playing Morg is similar to what you were describing, which was giving Bloodyface an opportunity to use Nether Breath defensively. But
yeah,
Nalguidan's okay with that because he has Alex Strauss for 0 mana.
Right, so it's almost like baiting it, you know, where it's like, hey, don't you want to heal for a lot? Well, here's your opportunity,
Totally.
Which Bloodyface is going to take, but the health is going to end up kind of meaningless.
Yeah, it's a very nice bait play, but he does have to kind of make sure to deal with it appropriately, because if he does Alex Strauss here and doesn't kill him, Bloodyface could actually just do the same thing right back.
Right.
So Summoner here is a great pickup. Mortal Coil, by the way, deals 4, so Nalguidan can actually just kill him. Well, could have Mortal Coil first, but he wants to tap. Finds Malygos!
Ooh, okay. All right.
Jeez!
That is a lot of damage, potentially. So now
I mean,
he
that's
just
guaranteed
needs...
lethal next turn. So he just has to Mortal Coil,
yeah.
right?
That's, well, Rain of Fire, Soulfire. After you put the Malygos down, after they're at 15 health. Does that do it? Yeah, it does.
Yes.
That's exactly 15, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
Wow.
Is there anything Bloodyface can do to counterplay that? I'm leaning towards no.
Not unless you can forcibly remove cards from people's hands. Because yeah, that's it. Doesn't matter what the health total of Bloodyface is going to be. So Nalguidan just throwing out whatever. I mean, I think the only way is if you had like armor or something, I guess. I don't know.
Bloodyface is going to die before even finishing his quest.
Yeah, that's really weird. That's rare.
Rough.
It is.
Of course it's the right way.
He'll be 2 away.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay.
His quest.
Yeah, he gets it done. Again, it doesn't really matter. We know that he's going to be dead next turn.
Sure.
But at least he got the quest done. And Bloodyface, do you think, you know, despite his record in Division A, I feel like there might be a little bit of pressure on him coming into this weekend, because he did go 4-0, and then he dropped both of his matches last weekend, right? So there's kind of that pressure to perform even when you are at 4-2.
Yeah, and, you know, people have been already, understanding that Bloodyface is one of the top players in Americas, and he's done really well.
Yeah.
So that pressure could be there, but I mean, no amount of pressure can really prepare you for this.
Yeah, he's got multiple ways to get the job done. Opts for the Nether Breath instead of the Rain of Fire, and that'll do it. Game number 1, the Warlock Mirror going to Nalguidan.
Yeah, you know, when you have an ability or a card that says, like, these things will cost 0, it just, you immediately start thinking about, like, how it can be applied. And
right.
You know, Malygos going down to 0, it happens, like, more often than you think it does. It's kind of crazy to see, like, a good percentage of our games end that way.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty primary win condition for the deck, is discounted Malygos into some pretty strong spells to the face.
right? Or just discounted spells, so that way you play Malygos and you get
That
a bunch
too.
of free stuff. So in the end, I think Malygos is still one of my favorite classic cards, and I know people have been calling for its head for Hall of Fame for a while now, but it's because we haven't really had combo decks really exist in Hearthstone for quite some time. It was an aggro meta mainly dominated, and then leading up into the rotation, as you saw with the Masters Tour Arlington, we didn't really see many combo decks for the most part.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of mid-range pressure decks because people were playing Warrior and people were playing a lot of Rogue. Like Galakrond Rogue was just kind of like destroying people.
Right.
So.
That was the big one. And then you had, some of those slower control decks. You had the Highlander Mage. You had some variations of Warrior that were slower. The Bomb Warrior, I guess you could say.
Right.
But yeah, it is interesting to see what is pretty, not purely a combo deck, but definitely more combo oriented than a lot of stuff we've seen come along in a while.
It's like the next stage for the Warlock decks, because back when we were casting, say, Masters Tour Arlington, right, people were playing like a defensive slow control Warlock that had like combo finishing potential,
Right, Galakrond
but
Warlock,
it wasn't a combo deck.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it's just gone full into that combo oriented finish. So I think those kinds of archetypes are important that exist in Hearthstone, to just kind of keep some of those slower decks a little bit more honest.
Oh yeah, totally. It's cool. I mean, combos are fun. Combos are sort of the essence of card games, right? Is what way can I look at this pool of cards and build a synergy that just straight up ends my opponent, Something everybody loves to do in card games.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to think about what the Warlock decks have been evolving, and even the Warrior decks too, right? Like some of the Warrior decks have been getting bomb variants of them with like Wrench Caliber and making a comeback with Horde Pillager, I think it's called, as well as Captain Greenskin, just to give you his maximum bomb shuffles.
Yeah.
That started making an appearance again because like Quest Warlock just kind of dies when they tap a lot into that stuff.
Pretty much. Yep. And it also ruins your ability to use Alexstrasza and Zephyrus and all that. It hurts bad.
Yes.
So, Demon Hunter versus Warrior. Speaking of Warrior, Bloodyface's Warrior got through the bans. Nalguidan banning out Bloodyface's Demon Hunter instead. So, having confidence that he's got what it takes to take on this extremely strong Warrior deck.
I mean, he's got a good curve, but Warrior sometimes doesn't care about how good your curve is if they just get Anchor and Risky Skipper with a single Armor Smith. And I mean, Bloodyface already has 2 of the Holy Trinity to answer this. If he gets Armor Smith, he has the Risky Skipper Battle Rage combination.
Yeah. And that's the real problem that you run into in the Demon Hunter versus Warrior matchup is that you just can't break through all the armor eventually. If they get that Armor Smith turn, you're just not going to have enough power. Bloodsail Corsair. Wow, there's a throwback.
I mean, that card is very good right now.
Sure.
In a lot of matchups we've seen, people play Zephyrus for Bloodsail Corsair a lot of times, especially versus Hunter. So it's situationally very powerful, and in this game, it might actually have a profound impact.
Yeah, Demon Hunter uses a lot of weapons. Definitely do something good there. So what's the question, or what's the play for Nalguidan? Do you go? Okay, so he's going to develop the minions a little bit more.
Yeah, it's pretty understood that a lot of the Demon Hunters don't want to rush too much. Oh wow, never mind. He's going.
Dude, I was gonna say
full gas ahead. Okay.
Insane rushing actually by Nalguidan, using everything but the Umberwing, trying to get as much of a board on there as possible. Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
This is still okay, right? Because if he finds the Gladeband of Death by 5, he still has a weapon swing. If he just has to attack first and then play an Umberwing.
Right.
Okay. Well, your opponent just played Corsair Cash, and you just drew a Frozen Shadow Weaver. I mean, I'm no math expert there, but it seems like a pretty logical thing to want to stop there.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, anytime we can freeze a warrior's face when they're reliant on weapons like that and establish a 4-3 at the same time, seems great. More damage coming in onto bloodyface bomb wrangler. All right.
So actually, I was playing a game earlier today, around like, I'm not gonna make it sugarcoat. It was low legend, like 2000 legend. But,
sure.
It's actually very similar to this, where they had like all 1-drops and a frozen shadow weaver, and I had played a Corsair cache. What I ended up doing was I ended up just equipping the weapon anyways, because I had a risky skipper in hand. So what I would do, I was swing with the live wire lance, and then just use my lackeys plus my risky skipper to clean everything up afterwards.
Right.
I'm curious to see if bloodyface's line ends up being better, right? Like, should I have played a minion and instead try to use the minion to alleviate some of that pressure? Because this is a lot of damage, and I think maybe bloodyface says this is a little bit too much damage to willingly accept.
Right. And where you've got a second bomb wrangler in the hand and you can still set that combo up later, you might as well just dedicate one now.
Yeah. And my opponent, when they were playing the Demon Hunter, felt like they had like very close to the ideal hand, because they even had Kane Sun Fury on 4 here. Nalguidan had a pretty weak world, considering.
Yeah.
I ended up going down all the way to like 5 health before I stabilized and won the game, but like maybe bloodyface just thinks that he doesn't need that because he already has a Blood Tier Corsair, and so that's already his chief activator.
Yeah. And I mean, you'd ideally have the Armor Smith, because that's how you eventually are able to stabilize, is get a lot of armor off a big Armor Smith risky skipper turn. But this works. He can eliminate the weapon this way.
That's huge if he kills the Battle Fiend, which he does. Oh my goodness. Warrior.
Yeah, you've always got a way, man. It's these bombs. Like, remember, there was another era of the game where boom bots were quite strong. I feel like any time that the meta supports boom bots, Warrior is going to be pretty good.
I grow impatient.
Yeah, you know, even like last year, it was really good with Bomb Warrior being like just after the World Championship in 2019, which Winter Race won, was when people really started adopting Bomb Warrior. Prior to that, if you brought Bomb Warrior, people were like split on decision. Obviously, we came to realize that Bomb Warrior was super good, so we decided to play that.
If you go all the way back.
Yeah, if you go all the way back to Goblins vs. Gnomes.
Or even farther, to the Dr. Boom era, where you just got 2 of these guys with a 7/7 for 7.
Right.
They were good then too. But man, so much damage suddenly being put in by bloodyface. And he's got that Inner Rage Grom set up for the possible lethal when he hits 8. So if he can survive for a few more turns, it's looking a bit rough for Nalguidan.
Well, he has Metamorphosis, so that's 10 damage.
Yeah.
He's got the Hero Power Twin Slice, so he's got 3 more next turn, so he's got 13 damage over 2 turns. If he draws a Glade Bat of Death, I think he has lethal next turn.
That is true. But you know there's some... Do you feel like bloodyface needs to prioritize armor gain at this point? 1 card in the hand for his opponent. But his opponent also has Metamorphosis. I'd be getting a little bit nervous.
I definitely want to use Inner Rage.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you want to try to prioritize killing your opponent too. So yeah, I would armor up here.
Yeah. But I like the armor up. I like that that's also a priority.
Certainly.
Yep, there you go. So, Nalguidan. Oh, Warglaives of Azzinoth. All right. You could very easily kill yourself with that. Can you win with it, though? I don't... Let's see, what? Nah, not quite enough damage, is it?
No, it's 11 damage. He's just a little bit off here.
Right. So that armor up ended up being pretty impactful for bloodyface.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would have been lethal otherwise.
I would say, like, Nalguidan not even going to try to survive here because he can't. There's a weapon plus the other Cobalt, so that's going to do it.
Yep.
Super close, despite the fact that Warrior had that. And bloodyface Yeah, we were talking about how he squeezed every point of damage out, or Nalguidan was trying to squeeze every point of damage out, and bloodyface ended up playing things like the Bomb Wrangler, which ended up being the key to surviving his HP. Right, the difference was that what if instead of trading with that Bomb Wrangler, Nalguidan ended up going face with that Frozen Shadow Weaver? Completely different outcomes of the game, right? Bomb Wrangler would have survived. Risky Skipper may have gotten more damage out, but like, in the end, Nalguidan lost the board, and it's only a matter of time before you do lose the board to Warrior because they have so many good tools to win it back. So, at a certain point, the best players who make the fewest amount of mistakes will be able to recognize when it's time to give up trying to trade versus going face.
Right.
So part of me does wonder what could have been. And again, those are like the really small decisions that end up determining perhaps the outcome of the game and could have changed the course of the history of the series.
Oh, certainly. I mean, we saw that come down to a 2 hit point difference between a victory and defeat for Nalguidan, and what could have been a 2-0 is now a 1-1 tie, as wins with the Warrior and the Warlock coming in for each of the players respectively.
Just some food for thought as we go into game number 2 with Hunter versus the Quest Warlock. I mean, both these players have recognized that Hunter seems to be the good 4th deck right now. It seems like the only deck people aren't complaining about bringing right now. Complaining isn't more of just saying like they regret bringing it.
Right.
Most people who bring Druid, Rogue, or anything else have kind of felt pretty bad about bringing it, but Hunter, most people seem to be pretty content with it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, where it just has so many good answers, and because of the mana curve in the deck, you can generally curve pretty efficiently through the early game. Maybe not this time with Nalguidan's hand, but we'll see what he picks up. It's the Animal Companion. All right, so let's digest this. It is a bit of an awkward start for the Hunter player a little bit here.
Yeah. Team Archaeology started things off, and looking at the opening hand here for bloodyface, he does have that plot twist, and he does have the Nether Breath, so 2 important building blocks, but he needs a little bit of fortune, and he gets it. Nalguidan has no 2-drop or 1-drop.
Yeah.
This is huge for the Quest Warlock to start things off, to not worry about minion pressure.
A little bit of damage from the hero power is not something you're super concerned about with all the healing in the deck. All right, there's a Battle Mage now. Do you play the Hammer in anticipation of the Evasive Feywing on 4? Or do you just go for the Animal Companion here? He goes for the Hammer. All right. Weapon, and then saving the durability.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh, off the top.
Such a sick draw here for bloodyface.
Wow. All right, so here's where things start to get a little bit tricky. You got the Evasive Feywing, and there's no Dark Skies in the hand for bloodyface.
Yeah, but maybe in bloodyface's mind, he's just gonna plot twist.
I think so.
Move on with his life. Always funny when you shuffle a coin in.
Yep.
It's like, I just added Innervate to my deck.
Well, it's great that he drew it back now, because nothing hurts worse than completing the quest and then using your hero power to draw the coin.
Whoa, okay.
That's pretty good.
Great hand here for bloodyface in response to it. I think it's worth playing this Questing Explorer and just taking the 5.
Totally. One step
so
closer.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, you will take 5. Your opponent crucially doesn't lose any durability on their weapon either. What do you think about Corrosive Breath? Does he just get that aggressive?
I'm trying to find more reasons not to play Boom Pistol Bully. Corrosive Breath does let you play Animal Companion, and that is like theoretically the most damage you can push this turn. Maybe that's what's in his mind. What's the most damage I can push every turn?
Well, Leok helps a little bit with that, I suppose. Now you kind of have to go for it.
Well, you could just use your weapon. Help Fairy Dragon instead.
You could.
Yes.
But if you do that, then you...
Dragon.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you do that, then you lose out on the face damage of the Corrosive Breath. So he's just going to hero power.
Yeah, also you want to try to present the best possible anti-Crazed Netherwing hand.
Right. It's a very good point. Both of these minion 4 health, just out of reach of the crazed Netherwing, but within reach of the Dark Skies. Just enough to finish them off there. All right, Scale Rider, a little bit more damage. Maybe this is a Dragonbane turn, since you can.
This looks like a very good Dragonbane turn to me. I am pretty shocked about this. Okay, interesting. Oh, he wants to stop the Abyssal Summoner turn.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You can do that.
I mean, if they play Abyssal Summoner, they've taken 7 damage from the Dragonbane hero power, and then...
I mean, they can't because of the Boom Pistol Bully. I guess it prevents it from going down. Never mind. My brain was thinking about, oh, well, the 5/5 can help handle the health of the taunt. But no, they just can't play it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Dragonbane, if he had played it in hero powered, Bloodyface would have to immediately deal with it and can't develop anyways.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is Dragonbane stops the Abyssal Summoner anyway at the same time. And then the following turn, you get the hero power with Boom Pistol Bully.
True.
And then the reason why that I think it's good, because it looks like it's going to do the same thing, right? Like Dragonbane might come out next turn, is that 1, you missed an opportunity to hero power, and then 2, you have the possibility of Dragonbane getting multiple turns of value.
Yeah, you would think you'd get at least 2 in that case.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, Bloodyface had the tools to deal with it. This is still a very good Quest Warlock hand.
Definitely is.
Bloodyface, if he wants to tap here, how important is it? Does he tap when he knows he's about to complete the quest anyways?
Yeah, I like the idea of waiting because you can't utilize the quest. You just get 1 extra card in your hand. So why not wait and make sure you can actually use the hero power?
Yeah.
So pretty threatening hand on Nalguidan's side yet, but not quite as efficient as it would have been now. Do you think it's still Dragonbane turn? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, for sure. You have 2 sources of damage from the hand. You have 3, actually. Scale Rider counts as well. I don't know if you can fit it all in hero power. I don't know. You would have to layer it, but
oh, the Malagos. Good. Well, he didn't get the discounted Malagos, which is a bummer.
That's fine.
Still a bummer.
Still a bummer, for sure. That's a nice pick-me-up,
That is not a bummer.
Arnasi Broodmother for 0.
Alright, so Dark Skies handles the Dragonbane quite nicely, and like you mentioned, the 0 mana 4/6 taunt always feels good. Spear. So he's got ways to clear this. Gets the damage done to face, which is important.
Yep. Needs to play Scale Rider first, so that way he can maximize his dragon synergy.
Yep. Doesn't want to lose the charge on the weapon. Hello, Questing Explorer. Well, seems like a pretty good, well, is it a good Crazed Nether Drake turn? Now it is.
That's insane. Oh my gosh, now he has a 2-turn lethal setup. Quest Warlock, I just can't. It has to be one of the best. This is one of its worst matchups, and yet it's it's finding a way to really punish Nalguidan just for missing his first turn or 2 here.
Yeah.
But I guess that does tend to be the case for a lot of Highlander Hunter. I think it has a direct correlation to your win rate. Directly correlates to how often you start with a 1 and 2 drop, I would say.
Well, curving out is so important in the Highlander Hunter that, yeah, I'd agree. I'd imagine the stats probably support that. Interesting choices for Nalguidan out of this tracking. You don't really want to give up this Zixor, but at the same time, Siamat is maybe the only thing that can keep you alive at this point. He's going to grab the Diving Griffin instead. You do get to, I guess you do get to grab the Zixor out of this, so. Or the Faceless Corruptor, either one.
You can't. This is actually guaranteed for Faceless.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, the tracking.
Right, the tracking discarded the Zixor, yeah.
So, I mean, this was the only way for him to kind of survive.
Yeah, I guess it does also activate the kill command. Be 5 damage instead of 3.
Right.
That's a lot of damage. But how much is in the hand for bloodyface? He can do 16 this turn if you Malagos coin out the Soulfire, but that's not enough. So he's going to draw.
Oh, that's a good pickup here.
Yeah.
I would say there's a lot of merit to plot twisting here. I think that you could also justify like playing Abyssal Summoner and then playing plot twist. Actually, that just sounds way better, so you should just do that first.
So, how likely do you think it would be that if he plot twists, his Zephrys would be active?
If well, you'd have to draw Zephyr. Oh wow,
right.
This is like a SAT question, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's complicated, but when you get to this point in the game where you've got like less than 10 cards in your deck, you're like, all right, is there a way I can like finagle this to get Zephrys to be active, providing that I draw him again and I draw the right cards? And when you're at sub 10 health against a hunter, these are the kind of questions you ask yourself, you know? Another breath to the face.
Wow, another breath. I mean, it was unlikely Nalguidan got there anyways, but that kind of seals it.
I
think he had an out for Zephrys. If he had Zephrys, he would have been able to get Fireball lethal. But that's going to do it.
Yep. So a lead for bloodyface now in the series as he gets a win with his Warlock deck. So just a win with the Hunter, I believe, required by bloodyface to secure the victory here.
That's right. And bloodyface has his own Hunter that can go up against Nalguidan's Hunter and has a slight losing matchup versus Demon Hunter, at least on paper. The deck list for bloodyface also seems to have that same split that we have from Eddie and Gallant, where bloodyface is playing the Guardian Augur Merchant for a little bit more early game, while it seems like there's more mid-game presence here for Nalguidan's Hunter.
Yeah, interesting. So we'll have to see if Nalguidan can bring it back, tie up the series. Will he opt into the mirror, or will he opt into the Demon Hunter versus Hunter matchup? What do you think?
I mean, I think that, quite frankly, it doesn't truly mean too big of a difference. I think it comes down to purely if you believe that your deck operates better with the coin or without the coin.
Sure.
So bloodyface had the coin last game, which means he's going first. That makes me want to play Warlock, because if I play the Highlander Hunter mirror, I want to go first.
Fair enough.
So that's the order. If you believe, that's what ends up being the case. But I think, it's not guaranteed that the coin switches side every single game.
Well, it's going to be a Hunter mirror.
Yep. Well,
going for it.
bloodyface ends up going first, that is a pretty big edge if he's able to curve out. Some people like going second, though, because they get that ability to coin out the Dire Tamer brand just a turn earlier, but yeah, that's very bold to assume that you can be ahead in the matchup that way. I just prefer to always have that mana crystal ahead.
Makes sense. Did you know that Rexar wears the skin of his old pet?
That is a fun fact. Thank you.
Yeah, it served him faithfully, and I believe, if I remember the lore right, it gave its life to save him. And so he wears it.
That's a good Misha.
Yeah. Like anyone would.
Isn't Rexar like a bad guy, though?
Rexar? No, not really.
I thought Rexar was like considered to be evil or something.
I don't think so. I mean, it's always a little bit gray. And like, in Warcraft lore, bad guys become good guys and good guys become bad guys basically like 3 or 4 times every expansion. But Rexar has generally been a pretty noble stand-up guy.
Got it. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how could he be bad? He just wants to hunt by himself. That's not so bad.
He wants to hunt you down, which sounds sinister.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Rexar versus his upgraded Golden Portrait Rexar.
Wow.
Always fun to look at. Bloodyface has a 1-drop, and that already is problematic for Nalguidan. And this is kind of what we're talking about. Even just having the Augur Merchant just to increase the amount of 1-mana plays that you have is huge.
And then you get a 3-mana 4/6 with Rush in Zixor next turn. That's this is a crazy start for Bloodyface. Scavenger's Ingenuity for Nalguidan as well, and he picks up the Mana Saber. Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
Mana Saber is pretty good, but this is hard to deal with.
Yeah.
4/6 is extremely sturdy. This might be a... This might honestly be a Escape Mana Saber turn, but... Because if you coin the Escape Mana Saber, then you get the extra Mana Crystal, and all of a sudden it's kind of like you're going first.
I suppose, yeah. There's not really a way your opponent's going to kill it or deny it, because these lists don't run things like Freezing Trap anymore. But you're taking a lot of damage here. Wow, and the Swampoos, just so we can fill in the hero power for more damage. So saying, I don't even need to worry about taking out your weapon later.
Yeah, if Nalguidan chooses to spend his mana this turn playing a weapon, you're really happy about that. Normally you're not, because the person that's going first, again, going first is a huge deal.
Right.
Gets that initiative. Now Nalguidan is going to just try to fight back with this board, and which, honestly, this board is pretty intimidating, but bloodyface has, you know, he's got it covered.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Or actually, does he? The Mana Saber's at 5 health. For some reason, I thought it would be at 4.
I guess it is a little bit awkward in terms of how to take care of it, but you can kill everything except for the Mana Saber, but you do kind of need to kill the Mana Saber, don't you? Is there a world where you unleash here? I think so, because then you kill the Mana Saber and you kill the 3/2. And your Zixor has 1 HP left, I suppose, but at least there's only a 3/3 on the other side?
You can only kill one of those. You do. Or I guess, no, you're right. You would kill both the Fairy Dragon
Yeah.
and the Mana Saber. Okay, yeah,
Right.
I'm down.
I like it. I guess bloodyface likes it too. It does let you hero power as well, which is a nice little side benefit in the mirror. So you got rid of the most dangerous stuff, and you also got a little bit of damage into the face. That doesn't feel that bad.
It does not. Rottenness Drake here is Nalguidan's opportunity to get ahead, because now he gets to push the damage and finally gets to reverse the momentum.
It's a pretty big reversal, too.
Yes.
I wonder.
The alternative is to play Boom Pistol Bully. Boom Pistol Bully stops a huge portion of the Highlander Hunter deck because it's mainly Battle Cries.
Wouldn't stop the Dragonbane, though, which is would be a good option for bloodyface. Diving Griffin, I suppose, too.
It doesn't stop Dragonbane.
He's gonna go for it. I think that's reasonable. Because you don't want to, like, Rottenness Drake into your Drake getting Rottenness Draked.
Right. And honestly, that's like the only thing besides like Animo Companion as like a mid-sized minion threat.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of unfortunate here for Nalguidan. And whatever this 50-50 hits is actually kind of bad for him.
Ooh. Hits the minion.
I guess that's the better alternative, because now you can Rottenness Drake.
Yeah, at least you maintain 5 HP though, but he looks a little bit forlorn. Going for the tracking, actually. What does he find? Maybe not the most inspiring stuff.
So we're playing the Rottenness Drake this turn. Next turn we have 7 mana.
Right.
I think Corrosive Breath makes sense because it's kind of like Stormhammer. It's dealing out 6 damage. Stormhammer, of course, has way more upside. But the Corrosive Breath is cheaper, and you don't have to use your own health to trade. And it seems like you're still going to be on trading duty, especially if Dino Tamer Brand comes out here.
Exactly. That's what you're worried about on this turn. As things are, it's a little bit tricky for bloodyface now, because he really doesn't have an answer to this Rottenness Drake.
Yeah, he doesn't, but what he could do is prepare the way for Zixor. I believe Diving Griffin will guarantee draw it now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yep. There you go.
Do you play Bone Wraith, or do you play Fairy Dragon and Hero Power?
That's what I was wondering. I was going to actually advocate for Bone Wraith, because I like the idea that you have a taunt that your opponent needs to get through while you're building up your board, you know?
Right.
So you're just kind of thinking ahead and going for that, like, 2 or 3 turn from now lethal. Bone Wraith is annoying to get through.
Most certainly is. Nalguidan needs to find a way to keep the momentum going, and it looks like it would have to be through the form of corrosive breath somehow this turn, because he needs to find a way to deal with the damage and also develop.
Right. Primordial Explorer first, and finds a Varanus and an Evasive Worm.
Both are really good options here. I would say Varanus is a lot weaker since you don't have things like Unleash the Hounds of Desert Spear in your hand, and Evasive Worm is better of an answer.
Right. Okay. Sure. Take the 4 damage out of it. Yeah. And build your board up a little bit more.
Exactly. 6-star Prime, ready to go though. This is a devastating board sweep from bloodyface. AoE, its development, it's threatening lethal.
Definitely is. 12 HP remaining for Nalguidan, and there's a Dino Tamer brand, but there's a 2-1 in front of it.
Okay, but Diving Griffin pulls up the Face's Corruptor. So now he gets to kill off 2 things.
It's true, and you might as well use it right away because essentially you're essentially just giving Diving Griffin 3 more HP. Oof. All right. Wow.
I mean, this is basically just him stopping the bleeding, but he's on borrowed time. Bloodyface has Animal Companion. He can summon a big minion to push. He could also just use Fairy Dragon. Either way, Nalguidan's on a situation where he needs to find a miracle draw right now. And I'm thinking it has to be something as extreme as Dragon Queen Alexstrasza into Nazari.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like the Dino Tamer brand is really going to do it.
He actually
At
does
least
have
you've got
the
that.
clear. Yeah, clear on 2 minions.
I'm going to say, you can leave yourself with 3 HP, but this Animal Companion could end the series right here. Oh, Dwarven Sharpshooter. Well, it would go to face anyway. What am I talking about? Well, where's Huffer?
67% chance.
Yep, Huffer or Leok, either one works, and he found it. You're a par. Plus the 4 damage from the Fairy Dragon, and that's going to give Bloodyface a series with a 3-1.
And there you go. 3-1 victory for Bloodyface. The Hunter able to get ahead. You see the value of just having that early game curve, and Nalguidan, both those games had no early curve for the Hunter. And why, perhaps, in the deck building phase, it's important to consider how many early game drops you have. Because the difference was actually shown in that entire game. The difference is Boom Pistol Bully versus a Guardian Og Merchant.
Yep.
And I think I'd take the Guardian Og Merchant every time there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw just how having that extra strength, getting a little bit of extra damage in, being able to handle some of their early stuff is so beneficial. And you go back to some of those other turns, too, where you had the opportunity to play the Rottennest Drake and play the Boom Pistol Bully instead. And so there were a couple little moments there where you wonder, where the game would have branched to with the other line of play. But either way, it's a solid win for Bloodyface and kind of maintains his high status in Division A.
Right. So with that, it brings us to our final match of the day, which is, as you can see, Firebat versus PNC. This match has massive implications for either PNC or Purple, who is also hanging in limbo. If Firebat wins, PNC is relegated. If PNC wins, Purple.
Right. So PNC basically holds his own fate in Grandmasters in his hands right now. He wins. He gets to at least fight for his life in the relegation bracket. If he loses, he is just out.
Yeah, I think the weight of today does not go unnoticed, especially by us as casters. It's never fun to see your friends effectively lose their jobs.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, there's always other tournaments, but Grandmasters is definitely the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, for a lot of these players, this program means everything. So, to be kicked out of Grandmasters because you weren't able to perform well enough. It's heartbreaking for a lot of these people. You saw some of them even, posting about it. They don't have a backup plan, right? They're not in school. They don't have, a full-time job that they're juggling. They're full